Hey there folks, Cozzy here, drafting for Pick 1 Pack 1, and it seems like whilst there is a noticeable lawnmower noise in the background for the previous video, it wasn't remotely as loud for you guys as it was for me. For me it was quite deafening. So yeah, I hope you guys can forgive me for a little bit, but I'm eager to see how this deck pans out. And so I'm going to run through, even though there might be a bit of lawnmower noise in the background. This hand's great. We're going to keep it. I'd love to draw a 2-drop, but we're not going to get stuffed on our power today. I think on turn 2 I'll be playing my Seek Power. I'd rather take one more draw to see what I absolutely need, especially as we are stretched a little bit on our power requirements. It's worth just giving myself as much information as possible. And part of that is I now know that I have my second primal, so I can make my choice over whether I'd rather have my second Justice or my second Shadow. The reality is I got my next 2 turns planned out for me, so I could even wait on this a little bit longer, because it's highly unlikely that whatever I draw I'm going to be playing from either of those colors right now anyway. The only thing that would change my mind is a Karmic Guardian, and Serpent Trainer isn't a bad runner's-up prize on that. Okay, so that makes my Sky Snapper a lot worse. I think I'd rather just Bold Adventure and Seek Power. If that's the case, I think the most useful one for me is going to be my Justice Sigil. I can still use all my power, so that's okay. And this isn't the biggest racing creature in the world. At least until something else dies. So they're going to give it quick draw, so I'm not going to be able to block it. So if I can't block it, I might as well attack. And I think we just try and match their clock as well as we can. They have to spend their whole turn, so it has cost them 7. And then I think we'll just start to play out some chump blockers. If I can get in with the Serpent Trainer, that then is a chump blocker. The Amber Acolyte will be a perfectly fine chump blocker whilst we keep trying to smash on in the air. Ooh. You have a quick draw or something. There's no way you'd do that otherwise. You definitely wouldn't attack with a 1-1 into my 2-2. We're going to take it. Being able to get my second 2-2 out of my flyer is way too important to me right now. So I have a choice. I can either draw more cards right now, or... Actually, I'm still going to get a chump blocker anyway. Then I can do this on my next turn, sure. If they have the Lightning Strike, so be it. I'm certain that they've got the quick draw spell. Looking at that. We'll see what cards we draw before I work out what power I want to use. And now I am quite interested in baiting out the quick draw, so I can use my Scorpion Wasp to full effect. The good news is they did nothing on their turn. Sure. Use whatever quick draw effect you have. So they're currently marginally winning the race against me. That's exactly what this game's going to come down to. We're just going to be both trying to hit each other as hard and as fast as possible. And in as much as that, I'm glad I've gotten rid of the quick shot. It's now reducing just the amount of damage potential they can do against me. And so long as I can keep getting a chump blocker to stop this 6 damage, then I'm okay in this race. That being said, if they do 11, yeah, no, I'm on 5, I can't. Oh, sorry, if they do 9, I'm on 7. So I have access to 7 power. If I draw my thing that can turn a creature into a pig, I'm going to need access to 7 power, so I think I Wisdom of the Elders rather than Ancient Law this turn. That's good. That's very good news. And this card has just massively turned this race around. All of a sudden, this can't attack me for 1. Totally slowed down their clock. I've now got an overlap. Yeah, it's great news for me. And you know, this is the effect of a common up against a rare card. It's been cast nicely on turn. Next turn, we'll draw to see if we can find a removal to make our life easier or another Frostkin, and then swing in for a huge amount of damage. Hasn't had too much of an impact, I don't think. I'm going to have access to 8 power. If I choose to seek power, it reduces the amount of things I can actually cast off my Ancient Law, even though it increases my chances of drawing actual cards. So I think we just Ancient Law now. Drawing a lot of power. If we attack in, they're liable to block the 3-1. We get 2 damage in for 6. But we're not served by not attacking here. And then our next choice is whether we want to play the Wasp or the Acolyte. The reality is the Wasp does nothing against the 2 quick draw creatures, so the Acolyte I actually think is better because it removes power from the deck, which gives me a better chance of drawing an actual card that I want. And there we go, 12 out of our 18 power is in our hand. We have 6 out of 22, so what's that? 1 out of 4 chance of drawing a power from here on out. One, two, three, 4 blockers. So let's have a think through this. If I Feeding Time the 1/4, they're forced to trade in the air, and I'll get them down to 1. I'll have another air creature. They'll attack with a 3/2 in the air that I can't do anything about. I can chump, I can block, and then swing back for lethal, and I can cast the Wasp at the end, which should give me an overlap as long as they don't play another. As long as they don't play another flying blocker. If I kill, say, this, I have an overlap, which still take 1. These guys, the whole board will trade off. They got the 6/1 now. That seems much worse. So we've killed their air defense. They're on 1. We have a second flyer, so unless they can cast 2 flyers or a flyer and a removal spell, we should have this wrapped up. And that's pretty much exactly how Tempo Deck hopes to play out. I know it sounds funny calling myself a Tempo Deck once I've gotten up to 10 power on turn 10, but, you know, so be it. What could they do that could get me in trouble? They could have a whole bunch of the quick draw spells. They could have other stuff. So long as they don't have anything that can overwhelm, I think it's worth me playing it cautious there. And And that unfortunately does get their health up quite a bit. So I have a choice. I can either kill the Countess and make my life a little bit safer, but then if they get a flying blocker, I can't get the lethal damage through. With 2 cards in hand, the likelihood of them having another 2 of the quick draw spells is relatively low. And that's about all they can do to really get it beefed up. I think we wait. There is a slight risk of losing here, but by the same token, I could also find myself in a spot where I just can't win anymore. Yeah, I think we wait. They can't attack because both of these have too much power and it will kill them off the Void Weapon. 8, 11, 13, 14. Wow. Madness again. I died to Madness stupidly in the previous video, and so they needed both the Madness and a pump spell. They needed exactly that. What a kick in the guts. Man, oh man, oh man. Should I have played around that? It was exclusively only Madness that could have got them. Was there a sign that they had Madness that I should have been aware of before? Whilst in the early game, there were times that they didn't play a card when I thought they should have. Man, I don't know, hey. Madness. I'm beginning to reevaluate the quality of that card. My background as a Magic player, we call them Threaten effects because the very first card in Magic was called Threaten. It did that thing of take an opponent's creature, it can attack you straight away, and then you give it back at the end of the turn. Wow, and they need exactly the power as well. But sorry guys, I'm trying to say what I'm thinking through as far as the strategic analysis, but that's just slayed me. Man, I'm gutted. Absolutely gutted from that. I can't believe I lost to Exacties on Madness as well as Equipment when I had removal and I decided not to play it. But I don't think I did the wrong thing. Like, such low odds of them having both that uncommon as well as the Equipment. And I needed to focus on the fact that I was playing to win. Yeah, anyway. Let's hope that some of these chests upgrade. I need all 3 of them to upgrade for me to feel as I haven't entirely wasted my time. But yeah, jeez, that is so brutal. Oh man, Madness twice in a row. The gambler in me just wants to run a draft straight away, try and get back on the horse, because that was just insane. But anyway, folks, I'm going to ruminate on my own for a while. I don't feel as though this is going to make too much insightful commentary for you guys, me just being shell-shocked, really. So I'm going to leave it be here. We'll see whether I get frustrated and decide to run another draft. I have the suspicion I will. I just really want to see if I can redeem myself after a pair of 1-3s where I've gotten knocked out both times from a variety of mana issues as well as Madness. Madness. But yeah, I've been Cozzy drafting for Pick 1, Pack 1. I tell you what, if you enjoy Schadenfreude, your quota is high right now. Oh geez, I was so taken away, I even forgot to give myself my 1 win, which was important. I look forward to seeing you in some of my future videos. Hopefully they'll go a little bit more successfully than this. And until then, I hope you guys have a good one, or at the very least, a slightly better one than what my run has been so far. Until then.